What's up, movie viewers? Dena Views and Reviews here, asking what you watching. Well, today I am watching Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story. It has a lot of narrators and contributors. One, I'm just going to name a few of them: Melody Hobson, Jerry Banks, Kenya Barris, Killer Mike, Deborah Lee, Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, T.D. Jakes, and Gail King. Of course, that is not all. There's a lot of them. Written credits are Gelila Bekele and directed by Gelila Bekele and Armani Ortiz. It's produced by Gelila Bekele, Gita Gandabor, Crystal Lynn Hampton, Eric Sasso, Asante White, and Jasmine K. White. Now, Maxine's Baby, the Tyler Perry story, is a documentary that takes a look into the life of actor, director, writer, and producer Tyler Perry. Not only does it chronicle his life, but it shows where he gets much of the inspiration for his plays, his movies, his artistry. Now, Mr. Perry was named after his father, Emmett Tyler Perry, and was referred to by many as Junior because he shared his name, a name which he later changed because of his estranged relationship with his father. And I'm saying that estranged, I'm using this word lightly, but he eventually changed his name from Emmett to Tyler Perry, of course. Now, Tyler grew up in Louisiana, and at age 27 said he put everything in his Hyundai and drove to Atlanta, Georgia, because he saw it as the heart that beat in the city for Black people to thrive. Now, he admitted, though, he came for Freaknik, but discovered and saw Black people doing very well here. They were accomplishing many things, and very successful Black people lived in Atlanta. There was a lot of opportunities. Now, the 54-year-old Tyler Perry, he narrates along with others in this documentary some of his very difficult childhood experiences and upbringings in Louisiana, dealing with physical and mental abuse that caused him mental trauma. Now, the documentary paints a vivid picture into his life as a youth and summons you into his world of anguish, his feelings of dejection, and glides you along his road to success. Watching it, you almost feel as if you have indeed traveled with him through this journey, through space and time along his journey. You felt his disappointment. You kind of got some enlightenment from it. It's seeing his accomplishments and what he had to do and eventually attaining success. Now, many may find some of his childhood experiences relatable because so many people today have been impacted by some form of trauma within their lives. It's very common. Everybody experiences trauma at some point. Now, whether it's within your life or as a child or as an adult, it is all in the way we maneuver or try to get past what it is that we have experienced that affects our life, how it impacts our life. And we know for certain that some people can be devastated to the point that it causes them to have a complete breakdown mentally, or even it just traumatizes others. They are simply broken. We also have those that choose to keep it inside. They just hold it in and they suffer quietly. And then there are those that have no peace within because of how severe that trauma was to them. They're unable to overcome or even deal with life as it is presented to them altogether, and may become dependent on substances, people, lifestyles, or exhibit behavior that may cause them somehow to ease or numb or make them forget whatever pain they may have inside. And yes, this is a bigger conversation in itself, and one that we'll just have to delve into this perhaps on my other channel, which is called Discussions with Dena. Now, The title of this documentary was named after Mr. Perry's mother, and her name is Mrs. Willie Maxine Perry. Tyler also indicated in this documentary that his first 10 movies were kind of presented to her, maybe subconsciously. It was about his mother. He went on to say that he wanted Black women to know that they were amazing and appreciated. And thank you goes out to you, Mr. Perry, for that. It is a beautiful theme, and it comes through in much of his work. My mother always taught me to check out how a man that is interested in dating you or trying to get with you, check out how he treats his mother. She said to observe his interactions with his mother, his ex, or the mother of his children, perhaps, or just the women in his life. She said whether it be his sister, his aunts, his nieces, his daughter, she said simply observe how he speaks to her, how he refers to her, and how he interacts with the women in his life. And one other thing she said, which is a telltale sign of the character of a man, is and how you can expect him to treat you in the future after that honeymoon stage is over. She says you have to observe the women in his life. How do they speak about him? How do they feel about him, whether they're in his presence and when he is out of their sight? How does they speak about him? Of course, you do have to be honest about what you see, what you observe, and what you hear. And it speaks volumes. It works, I can say that. But once again, this documentary chronicles Mr. Perry's introduction into making Hollywood history as a successful Black filmmaker, how the character Medea came into being. And of course, Medea, who many may not know, is short for Mother Dear, and how Medea was born, how she was influenced by the Black women that were a part of his life and are a part of his life, and his own personal strategy for success, and how he dealt with criticisms from his own people. Tyler Perry revealed that from 1998 to 2004, he was doing 300 performances a year. Wow. Now that's some hard work. Anybody that ever worked in theater or theatrics, oh my goodness. But he also talked about how he acquired the 330 acres at the Tyler Perry studio located in Georgia. And one of the things that I admire as well is the fact that Mr. Perry never forgets that it was his own people that helped to make him a big success, proving that Black people do indeed have power. They have the power to lift each other up and still have that power today. They need only harness that power and bring their desires into fruition. For it was through what some refer to as the Chitlin Circuit, where not only Tyler Perry, but many Black people historically became rich and famous among their own people, and by their own people supporting them, their work. He said at the opening of his Tyler Perry studio that he was indeed standing on the shoulders of all those that came before him. And this is why I gave this documentary 4 stars. Not only that, but this documentary managed to pull me in, and I felt like it just took me on this emotional roller coaster through the events in his life. I felt like I experienced them with him almost. I remember feeling sorrow for what he had to endure as a child. I found myself just wiping away tears at certain points in this documentary. And then I was happy at his, excited about his ambition and his determination. He was, even through his disappointment and frustration, when he was speaking, I could almost feel his anguish and that drive he had within him. And eventually the complete happiness with his success in fulfilling his dream, followed by the bereavement from the death of his mother. all the normal storms of life, and some that were not necessary, of course. Now, enduring the sun as well as the rain, living, breathing, loving, and manifesting our way through, despite natural or even unfortunate experiences as human beings. I felt like I experienced it a little in this documentary. I felt his pain, his despair, and I found myself shedding so many tears as I watched him speak and reminisce about his difficult childhood, being abused, being broke, hungry, homeless, in need, um, striving. Then that little boy just makes him so happy. I love to see black men with their babies. It's so beautiful to me. That family atmosphere, I love it. I love to see the interactions. I really do. I've always loved that. Now, the physical, the mental, and sexual abuse, which he didn't speak about, but we know that it overwhelmingly plagues our society today. It's something that is sometimes taboo, but it is something that is causing a lot of pain in this society that we will have to eventually deal with one way or the other. Now, I think it was Melody Hobson that said the best wine is grown in the toughest soil. Tyler Perry is also quoted as saying, everything that I thought was there to make me fail and destroy me was something that made me stronger and better. Failure is a prism, is how you look at it. That's very interesting. I personally think that our goal should most certainly be today to rid the garden completely of rough, tough soil by preparing it in advance, virtuously cultivating each garden, tending to it properly, protecting it from pests or harm, appropriately watering and providing the necessary nourishment that can sustain its needs so that we can produce some of the healthiest and finest harvest for all eternity. This is something that we are going to have to do. Now, Maxine's Baby is rated TV-13, and if you would like to check this movie out, you most certainly can because it is now streaming on Amazon Prime. This has been Dena Views and Reviews, inviting you to join me weekly for my next movie review and our recommendation. And I want you to remember, it's my view. Now, what you watching?